Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris and I help people to find their center. In this video, I'm going to start talking about each of the 4 control dramas, how they relate to a specific element that needs to be brought back into balance, and what does this mean. So in the Celestine prophecy, which is kind of going on right now on the planet, known as the Great Awakening, Earth is going through her own spiritual awakening, and many of us here on the planet are also going through our own great awakening, our own spiritual awakening. You might have heard it known as the Ascension. It's been prophesied about for a long time by many different cultures. You can check out works on Dolores Cannon, The Law of One, Raw Materials, and that illuminates some of what's going on. Anyway, in the Celestine prophecy, there's a couple insights, and one of them is about something called control dramas. What that means is that, and I didn't understand this growing up. So, most couples, when they have a baby, especially their first, if you're a, if we're just talking regular, average, normal couples, usually when they have their first child, they're excited by this child. So the energy of that excitement goes into the essence and spirit of that child. Now there's a honeymoon period until that child, starts to walk, starts to talk, starts to develop their ego. And once that child starts to develop the ego, it's kind of like the honeymoon period is over with that child, and that's when the parents start to project their own traumas and beliefs onto that child from their past, from their parents, from their peers in society and whatnot. So what the control dramas do is it's an attempt to steal energy from other people. It's an attempt to gain control and to gain energy is the point. And we're not taught in this society how to cultivate energy. We're not taught that there's 2 forms of currency. One is money, which is the physical currency that we all agree upon right now. There's also the spiritual currency, which is chi, or life force, or prana, as it's more commonly known as. And what these control traumas do is we try to steal energy from other people. We try to steal life force energy from other people in order to fill ourselves up, because we're taught to look outside of ourselves for our power. We're taught to give our power away and to look to others as authority figures, instead of being taught how to give and receive and exchange energy and connect to the earth, connect to the universe, and draw in and exchange our energy. So these control dramas happen at a very young age. There's normally some sort of trauma, or one of these is projected onto us, and our parents usually hold a predominant of one of these types of dramas that play out in our own lives, and they probably pick that up from their parents unconsciously. So we're acting out on those dramas, and by becoming aware of what drama you mainly do to gain energy, you can take back your power and recognize that you're acting from your ego in an attempt to control and manipulate others into doing what you want them to do, so that, you realize that everybody's free to kind of do their own thing, as long as, I have a phrase, do no harm, take no shift. So do no harm, take no stuff. But the control dramas, you want to draw back on your own energy, and you want to take back your power and realize that you don't want to just take energy. You don't want to be an energy vampire and just have people steal your energy all the time. You don't want to rely on somebody else outside of yourself. That's how you get disease. That's how you deplete yourself. In Qigong over the weekend, I took a seminar and I learned how to connect to the earth. I learned how to connect to the cosmos, and how to not just take from them, but to exchange my energy, like exchanging with this tree. Anyway, Liu Chan is a dude that is reportedly one of the oldest living humans ever. He lived till he was 257 years old. He was a proponent of doing his control dramas. He managed his control dramas. He had 24 wives before he finally passed away. And New York Times did an article on him in the 1930s. And this dude knew how to connect to the cosmos for his energy. He knew how to connect to the earth for his energy and exchange it. So by developing this, you can raise your vibration, you can take back your power. Anyway, so control dramas. Today's one is called the Intimidator. The Intimidator control drama is the first of the control dramas in which it's an out of balance fire element to me. The control drama is, we're taught to try to control and steal from other people, which is the 3D model of the world, in a sense of competition, instead of working towards collaboration, instead of working towards creativity together, which is what the fourth dimension and fifth dimension are all about, is unity consciousness. So intimidators are all about that out of balance fire. They're all about that, or else. It's that it could be violent, it could be you do what I say or else. It could be threats of violence, it could be violence itself, it could be if you love me, if you value me, you'll do this for me. That's another version of this. It's like trying to impose your will on somebody else through force, through the use of mental force, through the use of physical force. It could be the threat of, bosses to employees, or, if you don't do this, you're fired, and it's something that's unethical. That's what this is linked to. It's linked to the fire chakra, the solar plexus, which is 3D, which is about ego. The fire chakra is about desire and willpower, and it's blocked by shame. So by recognizing what you're ashamed of, by recognizing that you may have had threats to you as a child from one of your parents that said, if you don't do this, you were shamed for it. I was shamed for expressing my masculine energy as a trans man growing up. So I learned that kind of behavior, and I'm working through some of that stuff myself. Anyway, so it's linked to shame. It's linked to willpower, desire, anger, and the imbalance fire element has to do with your passion. It has to do with you, running a business or doing your passion and purpose for a living. It could be, connecting to your soul's mission is part of your solar plexus chakra too. Some aspects of fire imbalance it's linked to intuition. It's warm, self-centered in a good way, like spontaneous, outgoing, creative, children at heart. It's fantasy, lively, and that's what the fire element is about. So if you have too much of fire, you can be egotistical. You can be impulsive, brash, restless, self-centered to the degree that you take from others and threaten others to get your way, no matter what, no matter who you harm. Not just hurt, but harm. And you can burn out before you realize it. And too little of this element will manifest itself as you trying to do this control drama as well. So that's the point of these control dramas, is you're trying to get energy. You're trying to fill up your cup, but you're doing that from the wrong way, from the outside in instead of from the inside out. So too little of this element means you don't have a vision for yourself. It means you're not connected to your passion. It means that you might feel fatigued. Like, you might feel fatigued in terms of passion, in terms of that good fire, that desire, that drive for life, that gets you to where, it's kind of like Tony Robbins. It's that personal development kind of stuff that pushes you forward if you're an entrepreneur. And if you have too little of this stuff, you could have weak digestion. You could have, lacking gusto in your life, lacking spiritual, emotional, or mental, drive. And you may feel like you don't want to do anything. You're afraid of fire. You're afraid of challenges to life. And the way to balance this, the way to take back your energy, is you need to learn how to connect to your passions. You need to learn how to remove blockages from your solar plexus chakra. You need to face your ego. You need to start looking at your patterns and looking at, when you get angry, what of these control dramas do you fall into? When you start to feel drained, what control drama are you perpetuating? And it may have been, like I said, you may have learned this at a young age. So start doing some work on your inner child. Start doing some ho'oponopono. Start doing some self-forgiveness. Start forgiving, your past, start recognizing your patterns, and that's how you take back your power, is not by stealing from other people, but how to turn that inward and cultivate that from the inside out. You have a well house and a lighthouse of energy within you. You just need to learn how to cultivate that. You just need to learn how to, step into your power. You need to learn how to balance out your fire element, your solar plexus chakra. And I'm going to link 2 videos down below about solar plexus and the fire element, and taking back your power and stepping into it, because now is the time. We're shifting from the 3D to the 4D. For a long time, the earth has been too stuck in the 3rd dimension. It's been too focused on me, on ego. And now is the time to balance that out. You may notice things going acute in your life, meaning relationships are falling apart. I know a lot of people are moving across the country. I know people are breaking up or, losing jobs. And this is all meant to disconnect you from what no longer serves you so that you can ascend into the 4D. And it's being illuminated by things coming up, so to speak. Loss of friendships, loss of people passing away, and you being relocated to where you could be of a better service. And by identifying your desires, by identifying your passion, by letting go of shame and, honoring yourself and honoring that you're a powerful being. I'm not here to be the Harry Potter in your story. You're here to be Harry Potter. I'm here as Hagrid telling you, you're a wizard, Harry. You're a witch, Harry. You're powerful. You're magical. You're here to wake up from the slumber of being with the Dursleys, of being with the Muggles, and dumbing yourself down so that you can wake up anyway. So Intimidator, control drama, to sum it up, threats, physical or non-physical threats, which is an out-of-balance fire element, which means that you have to balance it out in some way by cultivating the energy from within, by going for walks. You may need to balance your yin and yang energy. You may need to balance your fire energy. You may need to look at your solar plexus, your digestion. What are you eating? What are you watching? What are you consuming? Are you creating stuff too? That's about creating and cultivating your passion. So again, smash that thumbs up button. Tomorrow I'm going to come out with talking about the next control drama, which is known as, we got the Intimidator and we got the Interrogators up next. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Peace.